pretty good. Priscilla, Priscilla, Priscilla. You got a strong modeler over here. You got a strong modeler over here. Okay. So, first I want a quick overview. This is a very, very strong piece, and I actually recommend you make this your top priority just because it's the closest to being completely done. However, it's probably less close than you think, but it's not going to take a lot of work to get there. And I'll show you what I mean. This specifically is based on I don't know if it's the case or not, but as far as I'm concerned, this is an award-winning photograph. Like the depth of field, the lighting, everything about this photograph is phenomenal. I don't know who did this. I wish I could credit that person, but this is an amazing photograph. Now, for you as a modeler, this is something that I'm hearing consistently from professionals. As a modeler, if you can create, and especially coming in as a student and showing as student work, if you can create something that is your reference and it's indistinguishable from your reference, you're done. You're good to go. You know what I mean? So this one is already so very, very close, and you definitely have improved your observation skills on this, that I really think you should carry this all the way through. And I'll show you what I mean by this, because there's a few kind of medium forms you can move around and such. There's a couple of things that you can do with the coloring job. Let me make this a little bit lower as well. And it's just so close, so close. So let's take a look right here. And again, this is how easy it is. This is how easy it is. It's right here. It's as easy as see-through mode. Okay. All you gotta do is trace it. It's easy. It's easy for you. Okay. Now, a few things you're gonna find are not quite where they need to be. Okay. And right now we're on the side view. I'm gonna try to get it somewhere close. If I can make the tail line up, the face doesn't quite line up, but it's actually pretty close to around here. Okay. Now we can cycle back and forth so you can see the differences when the scale is pretty close, right? Notice the kind of chunk of wood here is a little bit smaller than what you have it, right? The eyes are too far back. The mouth doesn't quite do exactly what it needs to do. You know, there's a few small things here and there that you literally just take you can just take a move brush to it, you know, and just we'll pick one area. So let's do this kind of top of the jaw right here. Okay, see how it does this kind of form. Okay. So, and yours sort of does that, but not quite, not quite. So we can start by this top of the mouth of that jaw. Just needs to go up. Okay, just needs to go up. All right, just a small tweak, and this corner needs to come to around here, this area. Okay, this guy up here. Not too much space up here, right? And we can kind of continue to nitpick on this. You know, on these other areas as well. Now, of course, the actual biggest issue that we have is going to be that eye area. And I'm only working on it from one angle, but you really want to make sure that it's going to look good from other angles as well. But if you can get Don't do it as clunkily as I'm doing it, but this is not gonna look good. Alright. Just small attention to detail. And I'll smooth this out. I wonder if there was a lower res version of this. No? Maybe there was. Maybe just smoothing's not gonna be the way to do this. The eyes are actually connected, so let's do a softer mask. Let's do a softer mask. Because I like the eye region that you have over here, just in the wrong place. So let's do kind of a mask like this. We'll bring that intensity down a little bit. And let's actually Shift D to bring the active points down. That'll make life a lot easier as well. I'm gonna control click a couple times, and that'll give us a slightly easier mask to work with. Okay, so let's find the tip of the, let's get that scale about correct. Somewhere like this maybe. And you'll notice I haven't masked the other side, so you'll need to do a more precise job than I am, because I'm messing up the other side. But that's going to be one kind of approach, and then you would still probably need to go in and smooth this guy out. I don't know if I like this method. The mask needs to be a lot softer. Maybe this needs to be a lot softer, so let's mask out a little bit of this area as well. Let's see what that gives us. There you go. See what happens when we have a softer mask? The stretching is a little bit less severe, right? I'm forgetting some of that over here. And I'm really holding control right now. See the RGB intensity is really low, and that gives us a little bit of nice soft kind of feel to this, right? And then you can mask out the other part to match it, to make sure that moves as well. Alright, with that part, I'm going to start with big mask, and I'll bring it down, right, to avoid all this stretching. Now I'm going to flip the mask, and you're going to see this area still needs more, right? But in comparison, this area, see, moves a little bit better, gives you a little bit more freedom to move it to where it needs to go. And that's kind of how I would recommend doing this, using masking to your advantage, right? Also might be beneficial to not have color when you're doing this and just worry about the form, okay? And literally do this throughout this thing. Just do, this is what I would call a good first or second pass. I think that third pass is going to be the final pass, but you want to go at it from all angles, including big forms, which is what we're doing right now, which is basically just making everything match, right? Making everything match exactly, like literally find the differences, okay? Because as a student, if you can make this indistinguishable from the reference, you've won. You've won. This is something that is very, very rare to see with students, and you're so close to it. I absolutely believe you can do this, right? You know, you find your angle. So look where this elbow is, and look at all this stuff, and all those things. Like, I would definitely nitpick on this piece just because it's based on such a strong reference. You know, and just find your distance, find your optimal, like, you know what you could do also to make sure that you stay consistent from this angle is place a marker for yourself. Like, you see where the edge of this photo is, right? You can put something here, just put a line here, just make a model with just a line here. And is this the other edge? Right, this is the other edge of the image, right? So literally you can just put a, create a, I'm gonna do this right now. Look, you can just insert a plane, okay? Let's see where this plane is. So all the way over there, which is also something kind of weird that you've done. You're way off center. If you look at where the actual world 00 is and where you have yours. So actually, a quick fix for that is to just take everything and move it. Right, I'm just gonna do this. And we're gonna move everything to world 00. Oh, let's unhide everything real quick. Good lord. That might not actually be a bad idea. We'll see. But let's just move it first. Okay. So this is where the bottom of your stuff is, your actual stuff that you built, and here's the actual world 000. And we're just gonna move it there. That way it'll be nice and centered. Ideally, we want to try to line those guys up. Okay. There you go. At least a little bit close. Okay. And we're not gonna worry about this guy. And actually, just out of curiosity, I want to see what you have going on over here. So, actually, I didn't see this before, but one of my suggestions would have been to have a few of these. This is too much. This is too much, right? What I actually want to see is just a couple of them here and there. Just a couple, just to kind of here, if we look at this image, you know, just kind of a couple back there, maybe one over here, one over here, just a couple of them, not that many. That's what I would recommend. Okay. Now, in terms of making that image match, what we can do is place this like directly, even over here is fine, right? And then whenever you find your zoom level that you want it to be at, let's assume it's going to be this one, right? I would be more nitpicky on this one, right? Just to kind of, you want to find the one that's the closest, because you're going to have to change everything to match that. And everything is a little bit off, okay? So let's assume it's this one, right? So, so see what I'm doing with that square? I'm basically making it match the edges, that plane. Match those edges kind of perfectly, almost, at least on the top part. And that way, you know, you'll have you'll be able to consistently line it up whenever you change your camera angles and your zooms and whatnot, right? You know, say you zoomed out here to work on it, or you zoomed in here to work on it, or whatever, right? Okay. But then you want to make sure that it's going to stay consistent. So this is going to be a good marker for you to just be like, okay, I'm just going to move this to make this match. Okay, blah 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 blah. Whatever it is. Oh, my computer's chugging. Why is this? Oh, it's the 16 million model, and my computer is old. I'm going to start a GoFundMe to get me a new computer. Alright, so over here, okay? And now you're going to have a consistent match, because if you every time you try to kind of guesstimate where it was, it's always going to be a little bit off. You know what I mean? So if you have a marker like this, that you can make it match exactly to that image, right? And that image is going to be your main blueprint. But besides that, you're going to have your actual reference sheet over on the side with all your references and all that good stuff, you know? And something else that I've heard is that it might be a good idea to actually keep and possibly include like your PureRef board, you know, at the bottom of your presentation, just to kind of show what you were going for, and that's going to tell people how close you got. Okay, so real quick on this, in terms of, let me go ahead and hide these fibers for now. But yeah, these guys, you know, and maybe a couple of right, so what happened to this tree? Whatever. So yeah, these guys are not a bad idea. Maybe a couple of just normal ones with just leaves. Just a couple, not many. Don't overload the scene, but just enough, you know, like get a little bit taller. Just enough, you know, maybe one or two in the front. just to kind of sell that. And again, this kind of piece of bark here is going to be too big compared to your reference. The edges here are absolutely disgusting. I would, what would I do? I would insert, not a ring. Let's do a cylinder, sphere cylinder. What would look nice? Just do a normal cylinder for now. Still not quite centered. It's okay. Somewhere over here. There you go. Just want to have that edge nice and capped and contained. Kind of like this. I'm going to give it some nice smoothness, a few layers of that possibly. And actually, you know what else we could do? Some of this. Let's see here. Okay. This might be perfect. This might be perfect. Let's do mask rectangle. I'm gonna mask those middle ones on both sides. Then Control W. Is that gonna work? No. We'll flip the mask. Control W. There you go. That worked. Alright, excellent. Now that we masked these, what we can do is BZM and QMesh and just... Oh, right, because it's got geometry. Let's get rid of that geometry, delete higher, and then we're going to QMesh this down. Oops. Hold space. Instead of single poly, we'll do polygroup all, and that's going to do both sides, and it's going to make a bridge when they touch, just like that. Okay, now we have a nice ring. And that way, because you see the your edge over here is so your edge is very polygonal, and I don't really want that. So we can make this a little bit taller, like so, to contain it. It's almost going to be like a little pool, right? Let's clean this up real quick, BZM on the edges. Let's clean this up real quick. And I think on the inside we have one of those. Good. And let's do polygroups right here. We'll do polygroup by normals, and that's going to give us one here, one here, one here, and one down here. And then real quick we can go to geometry, crease, and we're just going to do crease PG. There you go. And now we're going to have nice sharp edges all around, which means that when we subdivide it, it's going to keep those edges nice and crisp, which we might actually not want now that I think about it. Maybe we want to bevel it a little bit, but that's fine actually, because we can control the creasing over here. So Shift F, let's subdivide a couple of times, and we can bring the crease levels. Oh, it's not going to do that this way. Alright, let's delete higher. We're going to go to dynamic subdiv. Okay, turn that on, bring the smooth subdiv to like a 3, and then go back to crease levels down. Not that, not that. Yes, that looks a little bit more realistic, naturalistic. And on the dynamic subdiv, I can probably bring that up one more, like so. I like this. I'm gonna hit apply. There you go. And oh, this is a placement. You can get rid of that, right? But the idea is that now you have a nice base containing this, right? And even if we did lower eventually, you know. Okay, and now it's nice and crisp. It doesn't look all polygonal and nasty. You just give it a flat color, or something, right? And it doesn't even need to be as thick as this, but it's just a nice way to present it. What else? Let's look at the photo. See all these little leaves, little specks, and small things that interrupt the water surface, little bubbles and stuff. A lot of this you can do with BDS if it's small enough, right? You can do that with, you can just model a couple of leaves, it's not a big deal. You can do, let me bring this colors back. So, you know, something like, I'm just gonna do this with a mouse, but BDS, little bits like that. You're just gonna, you know, you're just gonna make it feel like there's something there. Even bring the intensity down. You know, and I'm just doing it randomly right now, but for you know what I mean? Like already that's gonna feel like there's a little bit more, it's less digital, you know? You just do this, and you've already done this around the tail and whatever to show the disruption. You know what I mean? So I would just continue just giving that kind of handcrafted kind of look to it. Okay, you can do that to add a little bit of detail around small things, right? Obviously do it better than what I'm doing, but you know, if we're just kind of trying to catch this, okay? So that'll be on that. The other, how many different pieces of wood do we have here? Okay, this is the old one, and this is a new one, I guess. Oh no, this is the new one. Yeah, that looks better, I guess. Each one has advantages and disadvantages. Okay, so let's go ahead and hide that one. Although the color on that one is not bad, because it's a little bit lighter. This is the other thing I wanted to kind of talk about. Some of your coloring is going to come from the lighting, but so you might need some trial and error. However, overall, and you can see this on your scene as well, in terms of the colors. These colors, a lot of them are a lot lighter and yellower. And something that you can do, I mean, you can actually, here, let me save this real quick. Save images, let's see. So, yeah, that's fine over there. Because you can go to, I'm gonna go with, which one was it? Texture map? Texture map, click right here, click import, and go find quick access. There you are. Okay, boop, there you go. Okay, and if I give this some sort of material that's going to be showing the colors a little bit better, like skin shade, which actually I would recommend you using skin shade on all of this except the water. Just because the coloring, the painting is going to look a little bit better just in ZBrush, right? But once you have this guy, you know, probably want to, you know, give it a little bit of a twirl over here. We can also go to solo, because this is not going to be perfectly matched to your image, but we can do this and try to match them. And we know we match the top, right? So we can kind of do this. And just a few tricks for you. Just a few tricks for you. Okay, somewhere around here. Okay, and we can make it kind of match a little bit better by manipulating this. So this is right now it's a lot taller. So we're gonna bring this down until it matches. Gotcha. Okay. And it might not be like perfect, but if you get it close enough, it's gonna be solid. Ooh. Gotcha. Okay. I get excited by small things like that. Alright, I got it. I'm awesome. Very subtle difference. Whatever. Anyway, my point being is that now that you have it actually in here, now that you actually have this guy in there as your reference, you know, first you can use that to match your see-through, because this is not going to let you see through, right? But this will. And second, you can do something like, oh, I don't know, sample your colors, maybe. Well, this is not really the color, this is just the reflection of the environment, but say you wanted to, right? So I'm gonna hover over here, hit C, and voila, I have this color. Now I can go back here, come over here to this water. It's all one thing, right? Let's see. I'm gonna hit V to switch, hit C to see what color you actually have. Oh wow. So it's gonna look dark no matter what, huh? Because you have something that's a lot light. Alright, disregard everything that I said about this. Never mind. This is gonna be something that you do in Blender for that reflective color material. But I would still probably drop this one on it. So let's go ahead and do that. Just RGB. We're gonna keep the material. Just RGB, and then we're gonna fill object on this one. Oh, right. I filled it with the same color that I have. Hit V again to flip, and then I have my custom menu over here, but you know, for you it might be over here, color, and then fill object. There you go. Now this is not going to look great in here. Doesn't look terrible actually. Oh yeah, it just reflects the weird environment from up there, but that's fine. Don't need to worry about that much. But I would definitely get the colors on the bark and everything closer. And again, same deal. You see this area is a little bit lighter, so you sample it with C. There you have it. You can paint, you know. And you can do the same for the scales and stuff. Just be aware to not catch something that's too in shadow or too in highlight, right? And just keep going. Just keep going. Just make. I mean, right now you see them side by side, right? So you see how dark your guy is, and it's not really that much. It's just a little bit more highlights, because the darks are pretty close. Just there's more highlights and stuff, and more kind of medium forms. Okay, and all you gotta do is make your paths similar to the way that you have been doing, and this is so close to being there. Okay, so I want you to do that on the coloring and on the well, you start with the big forms, right, which is going to be the proportions, moving everything to where it needs to be, the shape of the mouth, the distance between the eyes and the mouth, where the eyes are in comparison to the length of the head, likewise with the body, where the legs are, you know, compared to your reference. It's going to be your see-through. Then you're going to find your medium forms. So for example, you see all this stuff that's happening on the shoulder part, right? Because if you notice, its arm is more, the elbow is more tucked upwards, where yours is kind of coming down. But this creature, I don't know if it's male or female. I'm going to call it a little guy, because it looks like a little guy. But the elbow is tucked up a little bit, right? So just that kind of medium detail passes in large details, and then you go and do all that painting work. Make sure you get the size of this right, add a few little things in the water, and then you're just gonna have some nice neutral lighting in Blender following the tutorial. And I mean, the fact that you're getting this close this early in the program, I think is phenomenal. I think it's phenomenal. So if you take this all the way, this is going to be a very, very strong piece, and I would push this through. I would push this through all the way to make it look like this image. All right. So yeah, hopefully this helps. Really, really good work. I would love to see this carried all the way through, just because it's going to be awesome. Keep going, and yeah. Can't wait to see the next piece. Good job. Good job.